Something about a panini brings me right back to Italy, where I'm walking down the cobblestone streets with a panini in my hand, wrapped in that like parchment paper that holds all the juices in and all the extra virgin olive oil into your panini. And you're just like looking around, it's so sunny and warm and everybody's so happy. That's what this panini does for me. I love this panini. It's a grilled eggplant and sun-dried tomato olive tapenade panini. How good does that sound? It is just so Italian. It's so bright, so cheery, and I promise you if you make this, if you just close your eyes, you'll hear that Italian music playing in the background. Maybe. And it all starts with our amazing olive and sun-dried tomato tapenade. That includes sun-dried tomatoes. I have some sun-dried tomatoes here that I took out of olive oil. You want to get them in a jar that has some olive oil in it. And then you're just going to drain them, kind of pat them dry. And then I have them right here, and I'm just going to cut them up roughly, just so your food processor can more easily get through them. So I'm going to take them all here and do that for all of our sun-dried tomatoes. They're all roughly chopped, and I'm just gonna pop them right into our food processor. And now it's time to wash my hands. Goodbye. So it's time for our olives. I have some amazing KALAMATA olives here that are pitted, and then even better, I have some FRESCATRANO olives, which are basically just Greek green olives. You can also use Castelvetrano olives that are Italian green olives, and those are a little bit more mild. So I'm gonna pop those right in. I'm gonna pop the kalamatas right in. And what I love about this recipe so much is it's kind of a mix between a tapenade and a pesto. A classic tapenade usually has olives, capers, and anchovies. And a pesto usually has pine nuts and basil and olive oil and garlic. And this is like a hybrid. It's somewhere in between, and it's just deadly, deadly good. So back to it. Speaking of anchovies, I have some anchovies here, and I'm just gonna grab one big one. You can put more in if you want, but I find that one is actually pretty powerful and it's very, very salty. So be careful what you add. So then I have 2 garlic cloves here, and I'm just gonna add those right in whole to my food processor. And then I have some Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. You can also use just regular Parmesan cheese. This is very classic for a pesto recipe, so you can kind of see where I'm going here. It's like a hybrid between the two. And then I have some fresh lemon juice, and this is just gonna add a pop of freshness, some acidity, some brightness. And you know me, I always have trouble squeezing lemons because I always get seeds inside. I actually saw a trick today where you like leave the lemon whole and then you put a toothpick in the center of it and then squeeze the lemon and the juice comes out the hole. You gotta try that. So I'm gonna add that right in. Perfect. And then I have here our pine nuts. So all I did was I just stuck these pine nuts in the oven at 350 for about 5 minutes until they toast up. Nice like this. You don't want them burnt, but if you toast your pine nuts, they're just gonna have so much more flavor. And I'm gonna add those right in. And that is so classic of pesto. So now we're getting kind of the pesto vibe here going on. And then a final ingredient, and you can see how easy all of this is some basil. It's looking a little droopy. I know, I left it out and it's a little warm in here. I'm trying to channel my inner Italy in the middle of the summer. So I'm gonna add some fresh basil right in there. And I almost forgot, it's time for some olive oil. This is just gonna bind all the ingredients together and turn it into a beautiful tapenade pesto hybrid. So I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup or so to start. I always like to add just a little bit more than that. I find it's like slightly over a 1/4 cup. And then I'm gonna put my top on and I'm gonna whiz this all together until it's nice and combined. You can do it however coarse you like it or smooth you like it. Whatever you wanna do, it's all you. So I'm going to take the top off and I'm just gonna scrape down the sides here, just because you can see that a lot of those ingredients are not mixing in. So you wanna make sure you get all of them mixed together. And we're gonna keep on chugging here and mixing all the ingredients together. So it's time to try, because I wanna make sure it's the right creaminess from the olive oil and we have enough saltiness and that slight kind of anchovy back taste that we want. Oh my God. Oh my God. The filmer of this video really wants a bite. He's hovering. So our beautiful tapenade is ready to go. I'm gonna clean up some dishes and then it will be time to make our grilled eggplant and tapenade paninis. So the last prep step is to cut our eggplants. So I have a handsome little eggplant here. It's actually huge. You actually want to try to get smaller eggplants because typically the larger ones are a little bit more bitter and the smaller ones are sweeter. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for eggplants, but I couldn't get small ones. So you're gonna cut both ends off of your eggplant, just like that, and you're gonna cut it into little pieces like that, about yay thick or so. It doesn't need to be exact, but you do want nice slices to grill that are even so that they grill nice and evenly, and they're also not like too thick for your panini. Am I at the spa? They're not cucumbers. Womp womp. Okay, I'm gonna take these over to the stove. I have a grill. It's technically a grill for the stove. If you have a regular grill, I definitely recommend using it, but I don't. So let's go. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil right down on my grill. If you don't have something that looks like this and you wanna use a regular grill, I would definitely just coat your pieces of eggplant with olive oil, just a little bit. And then you're going to cook these about 3 minutes per side until they have nice grill marks. Okay, it's panini time. So I have here some nice bread. This is a sourdough bread. You can use whatever kind of bread you want. You can use even the real panini bread, but this type of bread works really, really well. So I'm going to put my tops off to the side and we're gonna build the bottom of our sandwich. So I'm gonna take my tongs. I have my beautifully grilled eggplant that we almost burned down my apartment grilling. And you're just gonna do a single layer of eggplant on each of these paninis. I'm going to take some provolone cheese. I have some slices of provolone and I'm just gonna put them right on the warm eggplant. And you can also use fresh mozzarella cheese on these too. That's an excellent choice. That's what actually Eric likes putting on his. And I have a little bit of balsamic and I'm just going to drizzle the balsamic. It's like a sticky syrup right on the cheese, just like that. So then I have a little bit of fresh basil here and I'm just gonna pinch off a few leaves. And you don't need to do this if you don't want, but I just like to add a little bit of basil on top or in the sandwich, just so it complements the taste of the basil in the tapenade. So then lastly, I have my little spatula here and I'm gonna go right in for that tapenade that we made. Look at that. And I'm going to add the tapenade right on the top half of my bread. Do it for the other sandwich, just like that. Be generous, and actually the spatula works out really well for building the sandwich and making sure you can spread it nicely. And then you're gonna take the top half, place it right on your panini, just like that. And then it is time to take this over to the grill. Let's go. Okay, so it's the last step in building our paninis. You can take a little bit of olive oil and either drizzle them on your bread or right on the grill if you have a grill like mine. I already have some oil right on the grill, and I'm just gonna place my paninis on that hot grill, and you're just gonna let them toast on either side for about 3 or so minutes until you have nice grill marks. You can also do this in just a pan right on the stove, totally fine. Look at this. And just like that, it appeared like the staging of a magazine shoot. I was taking pictures of this already, so that's why it's so perfectly laid out. And I've been basically drooling over this cutting board for the last 20 minutes, but it's time to try. I'm grabbing this guy. I've had my eye on this guy. I have no words. It is one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life. I'm closing my eyes now, and I'm going straight to Italy. Check it out on tastefullygrace.com. You won't regret it. Can you start that part over?